What's going on, everyone? HyperShatic46 here, coming at you with another dueling lesson. So last time we talked about Xyz monsters, how to special summon them, and how to use them to your advantage. Now we are going to be talking about spells. I'll put a link in the description for past episodes, and just in case you haven't watched that, because I will advise to you, as I did before, I will advise watching those other videos before getting into this one, because I do talk about a lot of stuff back there, and yeah, so let's just jump right in. So, as you can see, I have some spell cards laid out. Now, there are 5 types of spell cards from what I can remember. You have your quick spells, which have a lightning bolt sort of on the front of it. You have your normal spells, which just say spell card on it. You have your equip spells, which have a plus symbol on them. You have your field spells, which have a compass symbol on it, and then you have your continuous spell, which have an infinity symbol on it. Now then, we are going to talk about each specific sort of spell. Now, I have a couple quick spell cards, such as MST, or the short version of it, or you could just call it Mystical Space Typhoon. What makes it a quick spell is because it has the lightning bolt on it. Quick spells meaning that if you have it set and someone were to activate another spell or trap card on their side, you can activate it on or not on your turn, depending. But basically, you can activate a quick spell whenever, as long as you use it correctly. So remember, they have the lightning bolt on them, so just to keep that in mind. Then you have your normal spell cards. Normal spell cards can only be activated on your turn, and your turn only. I have yet to see a normal spell card that can be activated on someone else's turn. You basically use these to activate just a normal effect, and it normally goes to your graveyard after use. Same with quick spell cards. Then you have your equip spell cards. Now these ones, like I said, they have the sort of plus symbol on it, and you would equip these to a specific sort of monster that you would want to either have a good effect on it or a bad effect. In this case, my equip spell Pestilence is a bad card, so I would want it equipped to an opponent's monster. But when you activate an equip spell, it does not go to the graveyard. It goes and equips to the monster until that monster is either destroyed or a spell or trap card or effect is activated to destroy said card. So then you have field spells. Now when you activate a field spell, it goes into the corner. I know I have my deck in the way, but it normally goes into the corner of your field, and that's going to be the field for your side or for both sides of the duel, unless your opponent activates another field spell for them. So there can only be 2 fields at once, and if you have more than one field that you want to activate, one of those fields has to go to the graveyard. More specifically, the one that's already activated, that one will go to the graveyard, so then you can activate a new field spell. The field spells stay on the field until another card effect destroys it, or if you want to change fields. So yeah, those are field spells. Now we have continuous spell cards. Now when a continuous spell card is activated, it stays on the field, sort of like a field spell, except it stays on your back row, and it stays there until card effect destroys it or something negates it, and in which case it would then go to the graveyard. God. Continuous spells, of course, are equipped with that infinity symbol on it. So those are the 5 field spells. Now I'm going to give a scenario on all the spell cards so you guys can, understand each specific card. So let's just go right into it. So let's say I have my equip spell, in this case Pestilence set. I have my monster, and I have an opponent's monster. In this case, in order to use an equipped spell is that I'm using Pestilence as an example because I think it's the only equipped spell that I have for right now. But in this case, I went over card battles, but Angry the Fiendish Monarch is stronger than my Mystical Elf, and I know this. So on my turn, if I activate Pestilence, I can equip it to an opponent's monster, and when I do that, it would be equipped. It would be equipped kind of like how Xyz monsters has Xe material, but it would be equipped to that monster, and now that monster's attack becomes 0. Well, Pestilence effect, it becomes 0, and my opponent loses 500 life points for each turn that card is on his side of the field. So in this case, it doesn't go to the graveyard until the monster is destroyed, either by my opponent tributing the monster or by me destroying it with another monster. Because like I said, the attack becomes 0, so basically any monster that has an attack higher than 0 can destroy it as long as this card's equipped to it. So if that card is sent to the graveyard, that's good. Well, in this case, my opponent's case, it's good. Now, we're going to go into quick spells. So, let me see here. So let's say if my opponent had a spell card set or whatever, and he decides to activate it on his turn. Well, even though it's not my turn, I can counter it with a quick spell. Like I said, quick spells can be activated at any time on any person's turn, as long as it's a quick spell. If it's any other card, or any other type of spell card, it cannot be active. So, yeah. So then that would mean if I counter it, both cards are destroyed, but now I've countered an effect effectively. See what I did there? Alright, now we're going to go into normal spells. So, let's say on it's my turn. I will just set a card or whatever. Don't really do anything. Leave my mystical elf in defense, and end my turn. Well, now since even though my opponent set a card, it's a spell card, so he can activate it. And so now in this case, Frost Blast of the Monarchs, as long as he has a monster that has 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense, he can use this card. In this case, it's a Monarch. So now he can use this, and the effect is that he can target one other spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. In this case, he would destroy my only face-down spell or trap and send it to the graveyard. So those are normal spells. They can only be activated on your turn, so be careful on when and how you use them, because you don't want to use them at the wrong time. Now then, we have continuous spell cards. Now, continuous spell cards can be activated, kind of like quick spells. Continuous spell cards can be activated on any turn. But the thing is, once they're active, they stay on the back row and they don't leave. In this case, the AA forces all warrior type monsters I control gain 200 attack for each warrior and spellcaster type monster I control, and it stays there until someone can counter with another quick spell that can destroy it, or any spell card that can destroy it. So those are continuous. They don't leave the field, and yeah. So now we get into our last type of spell card. We have our field spells. Now, field spells come with the compass, and when you activate them, you don't really want to set them. You want to activate them as soon as you get them in your hand. Well, when you use them, when you want to use them, you don't normally set them. So they, like I said, they normally go into the top corner. Yes, I know my deck is there, and I did that for reasons I will get into in another episode, but they go into your top left corner, and they don't leave the field until someone counters with an effect that can negate it, or unless you want to put another field spell there, well, to help another monster, and then which case this card will go to the graveyard. But field spells, they come with a compass. They don't stay on the back row because I don't know, the developers, I guess, thought that wouldn't be a good idea, considering they already have a continuous that will do that. So this kind of works like a continuous, except unlike continuous, its field spells cannot be activated on an opponent's turn. Only quick spells and continuous spells can be activated on an opponent's turn. But yeah, those are all the sorts of spell cards. Now, I will give an additional scenario for each spell card. So, let's say I have a card set and my opponent decides to set a card. Even if the card is not active, I can still activate a quick spell to destroy it. Now, not all quick spell cards can destroy any spell or trap card or any card in general. It's only, the card that I'm using, Mystical Space Typhoon, just happens to be a quick spell that I can use that will destroy an opponent's spell or trap card. Now, equipped spells, if I have an equipped spell set, and even if my opponent has a spell set, I can still activate the equip and equip it to my opponent's monster, or my monster, depending on what the effect is, and then it doesn't leave the field until my opponent either tributes the monster or the monster is destroyed. So then we have normal spells. With normal spells, actually, I might as well say for all spells. All spells can be active. You can activate any sort of spell on your turn. Any spell can be activated on your turn. So that's one thing all spell cards have in common. So I could either set this card or play it, and if I play it, I can use its effect to destroy any other spell or trap card on the field. So yes, there's normal spells, but the only thing about normal spells is that that's the only time they can be activated is on your turn. Then we go into field spells. Field spells are not like, or kind of like continuous, but they can't be active on an opponent's turn. You can only activate them on your turn, and they stay on the field until something either negates it, or you decide to switch fields, and then it goes to the graveyard. Then continuous spell cards, you would set them, well, you would either set or activate them, depending on if you meet the requirement for its effect, and it stays on the field, kind of like a field spells, unless something negates it or something destroys it via like MST or Dust Tornado or Heavy Storm. So those are spells, and next episode we will get into traps. So thank you all for watching. Please, Chaos, control that like button. Let's see if we can try to hit a like goal of, I want to say 1,000, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all, and have a good day. Thank you. Peace out.